There's a storm coming, okay, and I mean this in the most literal way. Met Service this week issued its first ever weather watch for the entire North Island as Cyclone Vaianu heads towards us, and it's expected to hit Northland on Sunday morning. So, first things first, you've got time to prep. Make sure that you're stocked up on the basics, that your devices are charged. If you've got battery packs, get them charged. If you're in an area that's prone to damage or flooding, do what you can to minimize impacts now, and make sure that you've got an emergency exit packed and fuel in the car if you need to evacuate in a hurry. Calm planning now can mean less panic later, and if nothing bad happens, then at least it's better to be safe than sorry. So, you might be wondering why our mainstream media news outlets have been pushing this news really hard. It actually kind of harks back to Cyclone Gabriel in 2023 and some unknowns that could impact messaging this year. Those unknowns, they actually include the exact path of the cyclone. There's a lot of models, and as we change seasons, well, those seasonal changes impact the possible paths that the cyclone could take. At the moment, the most likely path is down the east side of Northland, through the Firth of Thames, and then out east towards Tairāwhiti. But that's not guaranteed, and this year, by mid-February, we'd already had 8 severe weather-related states of emergency declared, with 11 people having died as a result. The sheer size of this cyclone is actually wider than the North Island, so no matter its path, it will have impacts on the entire country. That means that there are areas where the ability to respond in local infrastructure, although already stretched. Northland has been battered almost constantly all summer. We've seen major physical damage in Tauranga, the Waipa, King Country, Tararua, Manawatu, Ruapihu, Rangataike, and the East Coast already this year, and the impacts of Vaianu could exacerbate the issues that damage caused and cause even more. We're likely to see restrictions on air travel, ferry crossings, and other transport infrastructure like the harbour bridge. So media doing everything that they can now to ensure that we're all prepared in a calm way is actually a responsible thing to do. In 2023, though, there were a couple of spanners in the works. Cyclone Gabriel killed 15 people, including 3 self-inflicted ones that were linked to depression caused by losing so much to the cyclone. Most mainstream media at the time did their level best to inform people, but there were some serious gaps in the coverage. Famously, News Talk ZB, the most popular commercial radio station in the country, downplayed the cyclone before its arrival. Hard-right alternative media Reality Check Radio didn't cover it at all before it arrived. And their audience tends to avoid mainstream media altogether, and they're encouraged to use their own structure networks to support each other, which means for some, there's a minimal ability to be kept informed by mainstream media news coverage. In 2023, members of the freedom community were actually the first to complain that they hadn't been informed and claimed that there had been no coverage on the impending cyclone. And in many ways, it seems to be repeating this year. And added into this is a refusal to give any coverage to the fact that these events are, according to scientists at Met Service in Niwa, being exacerbated by climate change, because as the Earth heats up, the atmosphere holds more moisture. We see land dry up and not be able to soak up as much as it could, and more rainfall happening in these events. Drier dries dealing with wetter wets means more damaging damage. But the climate change angle is something that those alternative media types downright ignore and downplay. And these days, it's impossible to not have a conversation asking, why have we had so many extreme weather events this year, and not bring up climate change in some way. But don't worry, if 2023 is anything to go by after the storm passes, they will be the first ones with their hands out asking for money to help support whoever gets impacted by these things, that have cameras and social media access to tell the world how helpful they're being. So the best thing that you can do over the next few days is to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Get those devices and batteries charged. Get those supplies sorted as much as possible. Maybe go give your local civil defence a follow on social media as well. And if you're stuck at home with the kids because the school holidays are on, maybe dig out those old board games and puzzles as well. Prepping now means that no matter what happens, you and your loved ones can handle anything. Oh, hi there, podcast listeners. Thanks for checking out today's podcast. Whether that's on video or audio, I really appreciate it. And I did finally get around to doing a podcast end tag, which I've been meaning to do for a while instead of just taking you onto the Facebook version. So while you're here, why not hit that subscribe button so that you can get updates coming in directly every time there's a new episode uploaded. Just seems like a really simple way to keep up to date with all of the crazy that's going on. So yeah, give that a shot and I'll talk to you soon.